Hi, I'm Ingrid Landis Davis. I'm the chair of the Douglas County Democratic Committee. I'm here today speaking with our Chief Magistrate Judge candidate, Attorney Ryan Williams. Ryan, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
We're so excited to have you on the Douglas County Democratic ticket. We feel like we got very fortunate to have you step forward and fill this spot. We know that it was a big, big decision on your part and that it is affecting your life. So tell us a
And,
little bit about you.
and I'm very happy to be in the position to be running for Chief Magistrate Judge of Douglas County. I've been practicing law now in the metro area since 2014, and I've had the opportunity to practice in Douglas County and the surrounding counties. And I decided to move to Douglas County about 4 years ago because this is where I wanted to raise my daughter and to create my family. And so I love Douglas County. I love everything that it stands for, and I'm ready to see Douglas County move forward.
And speaking of your daughter, I had the opportunity to meet her at the Stacey Abrams rally on Sunday, and she's adorable. She looks just like you,
She is my
except she's
namesake.
real pretty. She is a cutie pie. So anyway, uh, we're excited to have you involved in what we see as a necessary reformation of the judicial system here in Douglas County. It's a serious situation. It's a serious job,
Yes.
and we know that you're up for it. So give us a little bit of your background so people will know just exactly why we think that you're the candidate for this job.
So I began my legal career working in government. I was a prosecutor in the city of Atlanta, and I did that for about 4 years. And once I realized how much of an impact I made as a prosecutor, I never wanted to leave the job. But also, I had my daughter at the time, and so I then went into defense work, and I became a defense attorney. And along the way, I represented a lot of businesses, and I continued working in government. And so I would go back and I would do a lot of things in the government sector and the private sector, and intermingling between the two, I realized that there was a space that needed to be filled. And so as I've been a private attorney doing civil litigation and civil rights and changing lives on that and that aspect, I realized I kind of was sitting on the sidelines when it came down to actual social justice reform in the criminal justice system. And so a lot of times we found ourselves marching and then going home to our comfortable lives, right? And so that's good, but what's better is actually being active and then making the change. And so I decided to throw myself into this kind of a political arena, but into this judgeship because it was important for me to actually be an activist from the inside.
Great. When I first talked with you, I was really impressed with you because you told me that you were from Goodwater, Alabama, which is, anybody know that town? If you've read any books about it, it's an interesting place. And then when you told us a little bit more about how you grew up there, I was really touched about how much you've accomplished coming from a very humble beginnings. And I think it's worth telling your story. Tell us a little bit about it.
So, I'm very fortunate because I'm one of four. My mom had four kids, and I'm the youngest. And in being the youngest, I got to see all the mistakes that my older siblings made. But my mom wanted something a little different for me in life. And so, at the time I was in kindergarten, around that age, I guess it was about 1996. My mom decided to drive us to school from the Section 8 apartments that we lived in. Some call it public housing, some call it the projects. But from there, she took me to another public school in which I would be the only African American in the classroom. So, as most public schools, you have 20 or 22 students normally. And out of the 22 students, I'd be the only African Americans, black male for sure. But there may sometimes be another female. But what that taught me was how to survive in a place where you weren't necessarily wanted, because Alabama is very much so very still racist. There's still a lot of bigotry, and you have to overcome that. And as a kindergartner, first, second, third grade, you don't even understand what's really being said to you. There would be times that people would call me names at school, and I wouldn't know what they were talking about or what they were saying or what they were calling me. I would go home, I'd ask my older siblings, and they said, "Oh, no, they called you a coon, and what that really means is X," you know? And I would go back to school the next day, and I would have to, we have to have a conversation. We would have to, make it deeper, because I didn't even know that I was being discriminated against at that age. But they taught me that I didn't have to be accepted anywhere and that I could still excel. So I was an always student, always. I graduated high school with a 3.97 GPA, top 10% of my class. I had scholarships for basketball, baseball, and academics. And I actually took my academic scholarships because it was more important to my mom for me to be in academia than anything. And so continuing on through undergrad, I focused mostly on justice and public safety because I've always had an affinity for the justice system. So.
Excellent. Well, as a mom and a grandma, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I just want you to know that.
Thank you.
I'm proud of your accomplishments.
Thank you.
I'm proud of your stepping forward and taking on this really important fight to reform this criminal justice system, reform the judicial system. It needs reform from the top to the bottom in so many ways. It's just unfair. It's unfair to especially our young black men, and that's a fact. The Board of Commissioners have just released a report on the judicial system here in Douglas County on how the black youth, particularly black male youth, are being sentenced at a much higher rate, at a much more severe rate, and criminalized. The numbers don't lie, and they've got the numbers. They put the numbers up against the white youth that are get in trouble and the black youth and what happens. So we want to change that. We have to change that. We can't continue to flush our people down our young men down the toilet.
Right.
It's not right.
There's so many resources that are available that aren't made available to the constituents as a whole. And so when you sit in a position of power as a judge or as a commissioner or in any part of the justice system, what you understand is that there are resources that are available, but we have to make those resources known to all individuals and minorities, especially minorities that come from a background that they don't have a lot of I don't want to say intellectual prowess, but the
education.
Education, and that family, they come from a family that doesn't know how to access resources. We are tasked with the job of being able to give them those resources. The reason that we know about those resources is because we should know to pass that on. That's our job, regardless of where you are in life. If you know of a resource that can help someone else, you should pass that on. And I don't think we do a good job of that in our justice system currently.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And I know you're getting ready to get out there and campaign. You've got your team already started. So we're going to wrap this up, and thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me.